Top MIT researchers have recently discovered the incredible hidden cause of ear ringing for the first time ever. According to their latest studies, and despite popular belief, tinnitus goes much, much deeper than just your ears, to an incredibly thin wire spiraling from your ears all the way through your brain. When you hear the constant ringing, this is what is happening inside your ears. If you don't take steps today to heal this wire, every little sound that you hear, even as you listen to this, weakens that essential wire, thinning it more and more to the point it might completely snap all of a sudden. In other words, right now, your hearing and brain health literally hanging by a thin thread. And if you don't do anything about it starting today, you might go totally deaf, or even worse, lose your memory or go literally insane. You see, the sad and urgent truth is that tinnitus is wearing your brain out. But there's also hope. As these latest breakthroughs regarding tinnitus have also led to the discovery of a completely natural and inexpensive method that makes it possible for you to strengthen the ear-brain wire, get your life back, and finally say goodbye to all the ringing, buzzing, clicking, and pulsing in your ears starting today. Stay with me, and in the next 5 minutes you'll discover why more and more Americans hear noises even though there's nothing physically wrong with their ears. Why your untreated ear buzzing may, in fact, be responsible for literally burning your brain cells and erasing your memories. How coming across a classified surgery on deaf people from 1950 led me to one of the biggest medical secrets in Big Pharma's history. What government and army officials are privately doing to get rid of their tinnitus. And the simple 10-second method that you can use starting today to finally hit the mute button on ear ringing. This solution is so incredibly powerful that it has been clinically proven to work regardless of your age, medical condition, or the severity and length of your tinnitus. And without you having to spend a single red cent on hearing aids, dangerous chemical-filled medications, painful ear flushing, risky surgeries, or useless sound therapies. In fact, military doctors see it as the miraculous key that can unlock the regeneration of the nervous system, as well as brain rejuvenation. So, even if you've been suffering from tinnitus thinking you're bound to live with a sickening sound for the rest of your life, even if you've lost all hope in the medical system, thinking there's no escape for you, it's crucial that you stick with me until the very end of my story. Because in a few moments, you'll find out how to shut off that cringing sound that's been ruining your life and feel completely normal again. Just imagine enjoying a quiet and peaceful time every day, being able to hear your own thoughts again and to finally unwind. No more headaches, dizziness, or anxiety. No more constantly feeling angry and depressed. Forget the dreadful sleepless nights when you were tossing and turning, praying for just a second of silence and fearing that the next day might be even worse. No longer having to struggle at work trying to figure out what your colleagues are saying or pretending you're focused and serene when that piercing buzz is driving you insane. Moreover, regaining your social life, finally being able to take a break, go out with your friends and family, carry on long conversations, even in noisy places. Just like 197,357 other people did. People like Anna Brighton, 52, from Nashville, Tennessee, who says, "I never thought I would get to see the day when my ringing stops, but I did. Oh my God, after 5 horrible years, I can think, I can sleep, I can relax. I feel like a human being again. God bless you, Patrick." Or Bob M., 63, from Naples, Florida, who says, "If it were for me, I would have never touched your pills, Patrick. Your theory just sounded crazy, no offense, but my wife kept insisting. I still can't believe it's been 1 month since I haven't heard any whooshing or hissing. I feel reborn. Hope many more honest folks find out about this." And Thomas Flyer, 49, from Macon, Georgia, who says, "My right ear was driving me insane. It was like a horrifying continuous screeching. I was always tense like a bowstring. I'm an army man, but I swear to you I cried like a baby the day the screeching was gone. Now I'm spending long hours in the forest listening to the birds. My family thinks I've gone insane, but little do they know what I've been through. To think I could have never discovered this solution sends shivers down my spine." Now, if you've suffered from tinnitus for any length of time, I'm sure you're curious to find out all about this inexpensive method. So let's not waste any more time. It's time you broke free from the tinnitus jail. I want you to know who I am. why my unusual discovery turned the medical world upside down while saving thousands of lives, and why pharmaceutical giants and drug manufacturers are willing to spill blood in order to keep tinnitus sufferers away from it. Also, I want you to find out how exactly it will help you finally achieve the peace of mind you deserve in less than just a few weeks from today. Hi, my name is Patrick Berg. I'm 50 years old and I live in a small town in Virginia, together with my wife Sylvia and my 10-year-old Carrie. I've been an anatomy professor at one of the most prestigious U.S. universities for over 25 years now. I take a lot of pride in my work as it allows me to meet, teach, and assist hundreds of brilliant students, genius doctors, and alternative medicine experts in their research and discoveries. But the best part of my job, besides attending tens of exclusive medical conferences each year, is getting invited by my ex-students, now well-reputed doctors, to take part in tens of experiments. This is how I got the chance to witness breakthroughs from universities like Stanford, Harvard, or Columbia, and see life-changing treatments taking birth. Of course, none of them compares to the tinnitus solution I'm about to reveal to you. It all began 2 years ago on a Sunday. I was dressing myself to go out with the girls when this paralyzing, screeching sound hit me out of the blue. I walked around the room and then around the house trying to figure out where it was coming from. I even pulled out the plug on the TV, on the computer, and on the fridge, hoping it was just a broken electronic. Although I begged to God, the sound wasn't coming from outside either. It was coming from inside my ears, or so I thought back then. After 7 days of carrying this morbid noise everywhere with me, I started to panic. I couldn't rest. I couldn't focus during my classes. I was always tense. I knew about tinnitus, but I refused to believe it was anything but temporary. Maybe I had some minor ear infection. Maybe it was just a low atmospheric pressure. But after 2 months with that creepy sound drilling through my brains, I decided to go to the doctor, ready to do whatever it took to get rid of it. That's when my worst nightmare began. Since so many of my ex-students were well-known doctors now, I managed to pull some strings to get an appointment with a top-notch ear specialist. He saw me right away, checked my ears, and did a lot of hearing tests, including an audiogram. After reviewing all the results, he said he still didn't know what was wrong with me. One thing was sure, nothing at all was physically wrong with my ears. So he gave me some relaxing pills and recommended I see other specialists. That's how I got to wait and pray in every hallway of the hospital, hoping the next doctor I see will give me at least a glimpse of hope. For 3 whole months, I underwent blood tests, peed in a jar, had my neck checked, my jaw, my pulse, and pretty much had all my internal organs scanned. But every single time it ended the same way. They found absolutely nothing. Nothing was physically wrong with me. Or so they believed, because at that very moment, something deeply disturbing was happening inside my brain. It was so incredibly frustrating to see every single doctor, no matter how experienced, shrug his shoulders and tell me just rest more and take better care of myself, like I had a relax mode button that I could just turn on. It was clear that all they wanted was for me to stop asking questions they couldn't answer. But if I was 100% healthy, where did my tinnitus come from? I knew many say tinnitus is caused by exposure to loud noises, but that wasn't my case, as I worked only in quiet places like university classrooms. For the life of me, I just couldn't figure it out. I tried to tell myself that the high-pitched noise and the whooshing sound would eventually become something I would learn to live with, that after a while I'll get so used to these sounds that I won't even notice them. But after another 6 months, the noises went from intermittent and annoying to continuous and at least 3 times louder. I felt like my head was splitting in two. Sometimes it wasn't just the high-pitched noise and the whooshing. It was also a pulsing and a clicking. I was so worn out. I couldn't sleep at all, and I was always angry. One time, I even yelled at little Carrie for playing with a small bubble wrap in the other room. But it wasn't just tinnitus that made my life a living hell. There was also something else happening, something that paralyzed me with fear. I started getting uncontrollable hand tremors. At first, it was hardly noticeable. Then, there was one time when I could barely grab my morning cup of coffee. Moreover, my mind wasn't what it used to be. I once forgot what lesson I was teaching in the middle of class. Everything was blank. I couldn't remember a thing. Another time, I lost my way to the campus cafeteria, even though after 25 years, I knew it with my eyes closed. It was like my body and brain were deteriorating, and day after day another unpleasant surprise was always expecting me around the corner. I was scared out of my mind. Seeing the state I was in, my wife Sylvia begged me to try new treatments. Even though the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, that didn't mean I couldn't try alternative solutions. So, even though it pained us, we spent half of the money we had put aside for Carrie's college on visiting more therapists, alternative medicine experts, and even psychiatrists. Whatever they recommended, I never said no. I tried everything. Before telling you the single method that worked, let me save you some money and tell you the treatments that did absolutely nothing for me. Hearing aids to mask the sounds inside your head, expensive and annoying to wear in your ears. Antidepressant medication and sleep drugs to calm your anxiety, the only thing they do is to zone you out and turn you into a zombie. Herbal remedies, acupuncture, meditation, breathing exercises, fine for overall calming effect if you're already healthy, but they take a lot of time and are far from a cure. Sound therapies, which may distract you for a little bit, but are nowhere close to a real relief. And Hopi ear candles, on which occasion I nearly added burns to my list of problems. The fact that nothing and no one could help me filled me with even more anguish. In the morning, I could hardly pick myself up and go to work. I was so depressed, so scared this was what my life would look like from then on that sometimes I wished I was dead. During the day, I avoided people as much as possible, including my colleagues, my friends, or my family. My migraines were so bad that I could not understand a word they were saying. But the nights were the worst. The silence made the sounds unbearable. I could only sleep for 5 minutes straight before waking up in agonizing pain. Then, the most horrific thing happened. I checked the time. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, and the ringing was driving me crazy, like a red-hot electric drill that was boring through my brain. I felt a sudden rush of boiling blood through my ears, and the swollen veins in my forehead began to quickly pound, ready to burst. Then all of a sudden, the throbbing, the pain, the ear ringing, everything stopped. Complete silence. I could only hear my wife's slow breathing sleeping next to me. Did my tinnitus just suddenly go away? Everything felt so peaceful. After so many years, these were the first seconds of sweet peace and silence. But this was just the calm before the storm. It started with just a faded ringing coming from somewhere far, far away, which quickly began to grow louder and louder with every second, like a runaway train speeding towards me. In an instant, I couldn't hear anything else except for that damn ringing. And the searing brain pain was so excruciating that I couldn't even keep my eyes open. And when I felt something snap inside my head, like a cable torn by a huge pressure, I finally lost it, began to scream and kick and shout. I dashed across the room, picked up the TV, and just threw it out the window. Little Carrie, my daughter, woke up and started crying, which made my migraine even worse. My wife was looking at me like I was insane. Both of them were shivering with fear. "Daddy, please don't hurt us," Carrie sobbed. But I couldn't listen to her. The only thing I wanted is to purge that sound right out of my brain. I violently pushed both of them out of my way like a madman, rushed to the kitchen, grabbed the lighter, and set the curtains on fire. Meanwhile, a dozen police cars and ambulances came with their loud sirens, driving me even more insane. "I will burn everything down. I will burn it all," I kind of remember screaming. It took 3 sturdy policemen and 2 doctors to put me down. Then one of the doctors gave me a shot of something. "We'll have to put him in a mental hospital immediately," he said. And then I blacked out. I spent the next few days in the local mental hospice, where after a few checkups, the doctor said I was fine and let me back home. But I knew I was not fine. How could I be? There was something clearly wrong with me, and it was all because of that damned ringing. I knew it. 3 weeks after the incident, all my friends and neighbors were avoiding me like the plague, and I still could not look into my wife's eyes. Sylvia, the love of my life, was always trembling with fear and was afraid to sit alone in the same room with me. It was gut-wrenching. But you know what? She was right. I had been a monster to them. I had terrified them, hurt them, almost burned the house down, and embarrassed them in front of the whole neighborhood. Also, what if that was not a single episode? What if I did it again? What if I hurt my little Carrie even more? Or others? What if the next time they'll lock me in a mental hospital for good? That thought alone was sending cold shivers down my spine. Of course, I never wanted to scare my family like that, and I'll never forgive myself for putting them through that dreadful scene. But it was that precise moment that eventually led me to the inexpensive and natural method that I'm about to reveal to you. Back then, even though I knew I should have considered myself lucky to be alive, the truth was I wish I were dead. The truth was I was so mad, furious at the medical system who sucks you dry, then abandons you shamelessly, not caring whether you get well or not. But mostly, I was mad at myself for not taking the matter into my own hands. I mean, how could I be so blind? I was working at a world-renowned university. I had access to thousands of rare medical materials, and I knew hundreds of genius professors and brilliant specialists. There had to be a real alternative out there. Otherwise, I needed to isolate myself from my family or go to the loony bin. So the next day, I went through every corner of the 3-floor university library. The research was draining, and I can't tell you how many times I wanted to give up. Well, there must be a higher power out there, because 2 weeks later, I finally found the one thing that would end up giving me and over 197,357 other people just like me their peace of mind and life back. I'd searched the internet back and forth, read piles of books, and made a ton of inquiries with college professors and ex-students who are now medical experts and acclaimed doctors. When I came across an extremely bizarre experiment that answered one of my lifelong questions: why do deaf people still get tinnitus? This barely moral experiment that I discovered was conducted in 1950. The researchers suggested, if you have debilitating tinnitus, let's cut the auditory nerve and then you will be deaf. You won't hear a thing, but you won't have tinnitus. Now, you should know the auditory nerve is a bundle of fibers that captures the sounds and transmits them to the brain. A few desperate patients went along with it and got their auditory nerve surgically cut, therefore becoming completely deaf. Unfortunately, their tinnitus got even louder. That's when medical researchers realized that tinnitus isn't in the ear, and it's not related to the auditory nerve. Actually, according to Deafness Research UK, deaf people are more likely to get tinnitus. In fact, and I swear to you, shivers ran down my spine when I read this, tinnitus noises are thought to be linked to the damage that causes the deafness itself. As I kept on digging through mountains of studies and papers, my quest uncovered even stranger facts. One of them, people with extremely good ears can still hear tinnitus. Only 3 years after the auditory nerve experiment, a famous study by scientists Heller and Bergman showed that everyone, deaf or in the best physical shape, has the capacity to hear tinnitus sounds. They put 80 people in a soundproof room for 5 minutes each, and in complete silence for one of the few times in their life, nearly all of them reported hearing things. Their conclusions sent shockwaves across the medical community back then, and it still does today. Tinnitus goes much deeper than your ears. On the 4th week of my quest, I finally found the key piece of the puzzle. I just couldn't believe my eyes. There it was, black on white. The 2019 breakthrough that changed everything. It said, ear ringing begins with a faulty wire connected to your brain. According to Jonathan Selin, a professor at MIT and lead author of revolutionary studies in the journal Physical Review Letters, there is a wire in the ear, a thin nerve spiraling from your inner ear to your brain, helping the sound signals that your ears collect make contact with your brain cells. This wire, or tectorial membrane, has been neglected for decades, while medical experts are barely just beginning to understand why it's crucial when it comes to tinnitus and our hearing. This means that when you hear a sound, it's actually your brain interpreting the electrical signals carried by the nerve. So, in short, what they discovered is this. Sound vibrations enter your ear and hit your eardrum. These vibrations are quickly transformed into electrical signals, which get transported to your brain via a very delicate nerve-like wire. In other words, this whole system works like a small, old-fashioned telegraph inside your head. Once these electrical signals reach your brain, the brain interprets and decodes them into the whispers of your loved ones, your favorite music, TV sounds, car honks, footstep sounds, and so on. Basically, you hear what your brain hears, not what your ears hear. Now, this is the perfect scenario where every part of the system is perfectly healthy and works as it's supposed to. Your eardrum, the sound transporting wire, your brain, everything. But here's the incredible discovery, which nobody has figured out so far. You can have perfectly good ears, but if this newly discovered wire is not functioning properly, it will mix up signals, causing ringing, buzzing, whooshing, or hissing. Imagine it like a broken electric wire that goes zzz and causes noisy short circuits inside your brain. The little telegraph machine inside your head is broken and cannot correctly transport the sounds and signals from point A, your ear, to point B, your brain. Unfortunately, just like in the case of an electrical system, one faulty wire can short circuit and completely and irreversibly melt the entire network. The noisy short circuits are stressing out the entire nervous system while burning your brain cells one by one. Even as you listen to this, every little sound that you hear and must be transported to the brain weakens the wire, thinning it more and more to the point it might completely snap all of a sudden. That's why many sufferers hear voices like I did. That's why you might deal with brain fog, headaches, fatigue, insomnia, or memory loss. The sad and urgent truth is that tinnitus wears your brain out. All nerves and brain cells are interconnected inside our body, so one faulty, sick wire can impact the entire network. As far as I was concerned, I was scared out of my mind. I knew so many terrifying memory loss and anxiety disorders, like dementia, start with a failure of brain networks, while Parkinson was a disease of the nervous system. Moreover, the harsh truth was that while it was amazing that I had discovered the root cause of ear ringing, I had no idea how to fix it. At the same time, I had to do something before it was too late. For me and the millions of tinnitus sufferers whose brains and nervous systems were hanging by a thread literally, I certainly wasn't going to just stand there, feel sorry for myself, and see what disease I get. So I went back to writing and calling every medical expert and scientist I knew, this time sending them everything I discovered. Out of 237 specialists, only one returned my call, but he was one of the most reputed brain surgeons in the USA. Dr. S was a former student and good friend of mine. I used to help him with money several times during his struggling college life, and he was always welcome at our dinner table. After years of hard work, he made it as a doctor in the United States Department of Defense. Besides being a certified genius, I knew one more thing about him. He suffered from tinnitus, so I understood immediately why he answered my call. "Professor, I have a solution for you. Let's meet for coffee." Dr. S asked me to meet him at 4 p.m. sharp in front of a small pub in Virginia. He then texted me from a weird phone number not to take my smartphone with me. It was kind of odd, but when you're so desperate, you don't ask too many questions. So there we were, face to face, and I could tell he was about to reveal something big, because when he finally began talking, he whispered almost every single word. "What I'm doing now is dangerous and against the law, but it's the only right thing to do. First of all, I want you to know that everything you found is completely accurate," he continued. Dr. S had suffered from tinnitus since the age of 32. Even so, he was a true prodigy. He could perform long, complicated brain surgeries better than legendary doctors twice his age. Then he started getting inexplicable hand tremors just like me. As you can imagine, hand tremors are the worst thing that can happen to a surgeon. That's when he accepted to join the Army Medical Department. Those guys had been making him offers for months, but he kept refusing them as he was perfectly fine helping common people at the Central Hospital. Why did he finally accept? Because he was promised he'll be part of the medical team that finds the treatment for tinnitus. You see, military men are most affected by ear buzzing, but after investing thousands of dollars in every man's recruiting and training, there's no way the U.S. would let a disease like tinnitus ruin perfectly good soldiers. They need to stay lucid, calm, and focused to protect the country in life-or-death situations, not hear voices that aren't there or lose their minds. Now, why did they need a brilliant brain surgeon so badly in their team? Because of the root cause of tinnitus, the faulty wire. After months of experimenting and testing, the U.S.'s most experienced medical professionals created an ultra-secret protocol that only the nation's highest-ranking military officers and government officials knew about. The same protocol that helped Dr. S overcome his tinnitus and hand tremors. But even though Dr. S was healthier than ever, every time he saw a desperate case like mine, he felt guilty. This healing formula was available for only 0.1% of the population. Apart from the army men, only members of the government, politicians, big corporation officials, and heads of state knew about it. Hearing all that made my blood boil. No wonder I almost screamed. What are you saying? Is this never going to be made public? I mean, the U.S. military budget is $721.5 billion from the taxes that we, honest Americans, pay. Not to mention how many veterans are suffering from ear ringing. The country owes it at least to them. What Dr. S explained next left me dumbfounded. On one hand, the tinnitus and brain health controlled by Big Pharma sum up to over $25 billion. On the other hand, the nervous system drug market is valued at $82 billion. Not to mention all those fancy supplements that promise to increase your mental focus, to improve your sleep, or all the expensive drugs for headaches, stress, and anxiety. Why would they want one simple, powerful remedy on the market that does what a sack of pharmaceutical products can't? At best, if they'll ever release it for use by the general population, it would be obscenely expensive. Suddenly, I understood how crazy naive I was. Why absolutely no one from my university or from my research groups would ever help me search for a remedy for tinnitus, no matter how many studies or proofs I'd show them. Why great promising breakthroughs only made it to the news but never got implemented or launched on the market. At first, Dr. S was afraid to share the only ultra secret that could effortlessly fight tinnitus in a matter of weeks or even days. After all, this special remedy was meant to be used only by the elite who had funded it and under no circumstances could be made public. And you can be sure the American military is not joking when it comes to rules. At the same time, he was so tired of seeing only the privileged get access to real cures, so furious at the soulless system that excluded normal folks like you and I. That's why, after reading my email hundreds of times, he finally made up his mind to help me steal the formula and teach me how I can recreate the ultra-powerful mix. We both knew how incredibly risky it was, as we could have lost our freedom and even our lives. But we did it anyway. After he divulged all the information, he shook my hand and wished me good luck. The very next day, I immediately got to work. By now, you must be very curious and anxious to find out what this ultimate anti-tinnitus hidden formula contains. And most importantly, how does it work and why does it work so incredibly well? Here's a short step-by-step explanation of each one of the secret ingredients used and the effects they have on the body and the nerve wire. After intensive lab testing, they have proven to be 100% effective only in this formula and dosages, specifically calculated and adjusted to give the best possible results against tinnitus, brain cells disease, and nervous disorders. Step 1. Calm down your entire body to fully absorb every ingredient and quickly start the recovery process. According to data from 22 studies, relaxed people heal twice as quickly. But try relaxing with a piercing noise that's torturing your brain all the time. That's why the medical team has chosen plant isoflavones and Vitex berry as the first aid duo that cools off your nervous system and makes sure nothing interferes with your healing. Plant isoflavones have anti-inflammatory properties, oxygenate the body, and at the same time are used for palpitations. This frees your body from pain like headaches and eliminates fatigue and insomnia. In addition, it might clear your hearing from blood pumping sounds from the very first week. To speed up the effects of the formula even more, Vitex berry stimulates dopamine receptors, also known as the happy hormone receptors, and washes away irritability, anxiety, and depression. In turn, this opens up your nerve cells to the active bioavailable ingredients of the formula. Step 2. Stabilize and rehabilitate the faulty wire to clear your hearing from upsetting sounds. After deactivating the inflammation that kept the nerve wire tense and fragile, it's time for black cohosh and sage to repair it. Black cohosh nourishes blood vessels and improves cerebral blood flow. Healing blood goes through the faulty wire, feeding and empowering it every cell. In a 2012 study conducted on 2,027 patients, subjects reported a solid improvement in their tinnitus while using this herb alone, even when their ear ringing was present for more than 2 years. Sage floods your brain with antioxidants to repair any DNA strand breaks and scavenge the harming free radicals that cause the damage of cell components. There are 900 species of sage that grow worldwide, but only one can rehabilitate the nerve cells so fast to tone down tinnitus quickly. Step 3. Repair and regenerate your nerve cells to erase any damage done by tinnitus. Even when your tinnitus is gone, its devastating effects on your nervous system and brain cells can still cause a lot of harm in time. Licorice, one of the world's oldest remedies, is known to act like natural cortisone, the hormone that plays a crucial role in the regulation of major body functions, strengthening the central nervous system and considerably slowing down its degradation while calming fatigue. Red clover is high in magnesium. Thus, it induces cells to secrete the nerve growth factor and promote the regeneration of nerve axons. Step 4. Rebuild and rejuvenate your brain cells to improve neural networks communication. Here's where blessed thistle and red raspberry come in. Blessed thistle contains B-complex vitamins that can repair cerebral networks and improve cell-to-cell communication. For example, B3 can do the impossible and repair years of brain deterioration. In a study published in the Journal of Neuroscience, it was found to reverse memory loss. Blessed thistle also enhances memory by delivering oxygen to the brain. As for red raspberry, it's considered a top brain-supporting food as it has anti-aging properties and fights the oxidative stress that's known to cause memory loss and Parkinson's. The flavonoids in berries have also been shown to help improve coordination and motor function, being effective in tremors. Step 5. Supercharge your brain, strengthen your nerves, and take your mental health to the next level. This is where your mind and body get superpowers with two less-known herbs, blazing star and squaw vine. Blazing star, a flowering plant, also known as false unicorn in some areas, is so powerful that it has been used to treat seizures. Blazing star is actually an endangered species. So finding a local grower that properly cultivates and protects this powerful herb is very rare. Squaw vine, another sacred herb, was once used to treat and stop the bubonic plague. It has a toning effect on the nervous system and increases energy levels by combating exhaustion. Step 6. Bulletproof your entire nervous system and never worry about hearing diseases or brain disorders again. Finally, the military doctors and scientists made sure the formula protects the human body against tinnitus, memory loss, or other debilitating conditions by combining dong quai and Mexican wild yam. Dong quai is considered a superior tonic. While it may protect the brain from memory loss due to its ability to alleviate oxidative stress-induced neurotoxicity, a 78.7% improvement in brain function was measured in people who consumed this herb. Wild yam maintains a perfect hearing system while also balancing the nervous system. After seeing all the data, I just couldn't believe my eyes. Every ingredient was 100% natural, absolutely no substances or chemicals. Some ingredients I had never heard of, while others, well, it would have taken me years to even think they can pair up and do wonders for ear buzzing. It was clear they weren't your ordinary internet natural remedies recommendations for tinnitus. All in all, the formula was a work of art. But my enthusiasm was curbed by a new problem. If I were to produce the mix myself, I would have to spend days trying to source the purest ingredients from all over the world and thousands of dollars to buy them. Then, weeks to extract the seeds, leaves, and flowers. At the end, I would have to dry them out, grind them down, and adjust the ratios. The result? I would have enough of the mixture to last for a week or so. I needed a plan B fast. I thought that if I bought the ingredients in bulk and contacted a large, modern, yet discreet manufacturing facility in the USA that could take care of everything, I could produce this potent mixture in the quantity I wanted and in tiny, easy-to-swallow capsules. That's when I started my chase for manufacturing facilities. As per Dr. S's advice, I had one non-negotiable request. The ingredients needed to be the real thing. Pure, sourced from local growers that let plants naturally reach their full maturity and use no herbicides. 100% effective, prepared the right way and in the right amount in order to keep their properties intact. Safe, processed under strict sterile standards with regularly disinfected equipments. You wouldn't believe how many counterfeits are on the market. I remember I jumped for joy when I found a facility that was both FDA registered and GMP certified that had a high level of disinfection policy to keep any germs or viruses at bay. Yes, including corona. Since the proprietary blend is 100% natural, I didn't have to wait for approval to make my first batch. I had one last thing to do: test it. Of course, I could hardly wait to try it. After the first pill, I didn't feel a thing. Well, I did feel hope, which is still something when you've been suffering for years. Then something changed. I couldn't tell exactly what. Let's say I was more serene and I could be more present in conversations. And soon after this, my heart stood still. In just a split second, my tinnitus went from head splitting to moderate. It was like I could breathe again. I remember my whole body relaxing at once. I was even more shocked by what followed. My mind just cleared up. I could focus for long periods of time, and I was sleeping like a baby. No matter what came my way, I was incredibly calm. Not long after this, the horrible ringing was almost unnoticeable, and my anxiety and depression was quickly lifting. Moreover, my hand tremors stopped. I was waking up full of energy, and even my libido was skyrocket high, a side effect I had never expected. My broken arm was also recovering faster than doctors expected. And then, sooner than I've expected, all my tinnitus symptoms had disappeared. Not only that, but my brain fog went away, and my memory was amazing. I could recite entire chapters from my anatomy books without looking at the pages even once. My students were astonished, thinking I was playing some kind of trick on them. So even though my tinnitus was gone, I kept taking the pills for another week just to see what would happen. By week 8, it was like I had a brand new brain. My mind was sharp and I was thinking incredibly fast. Plus, my old migraines had disappeared completely. I had broken the curse of tinnitus. You bet I wanted to get the formula into the hands of as many people as possible. But I wondered, if it worked for me, would it really work for everyone? I needed to test it on more people who suffered from tinnitus, as well as other impairments like hearing loss, anxiety, or insomnia. People whose brain nerves were screaming, "Help!" at that very moment. They had to be dealing with severe ear buzzing for at least 1 year. If they had tried all sorts of solutions with no success, the better. After writing to all my friends and asking for people who might be willing to test a one-of-a-kind formula, I had a total of 53 people ready to embark on my experiment. The results were greater than my wildest dreams. Without exception, and within a few weeks, all 53 volunteers reported dramatic improvements. Not a single person reported getting the high-pitched or low-pitched ringing in their ears anymore. They didn't hear any clicking, pulsing, or roaring. Plus, 7 out of those dealing with hearing loss could hear almost every sound at full volume again, and even gave up their hearing aids altogether. A lot of them said their memory and concentration were stronger than ever, like their brain was recharged. Their bodies felt brand new too. My subjects were experiencing bursts of energy and restful sleep all through the night. No anxiety, lack of focus, or headaches. I was receiving one message after another. All volunteers were overwhelmed and kept asking for more of our plant-based wonder capsules. It was clear as daylight that I had a mission. I couldn't keep this life-saving treatment all to myself. With Dr. S's approval, I decided to produce more of the supplement and make it available for everybody who's tormented by tinnitus. I called it Quietum Plus, the only 100% natural blend that addresses the root cause of tinnitus, a faulty brain wire connecting your ears to your brain. We've sourced the purest, highest quality 12 plant extracts and put the exact quantities into an easy-to-swallow capsule to take once a day. Every capsule is manufactured in the USA in our FDA-approved and GMP-certified facility under sterile, strict, and precise standards. Quietum Plus capsules are non-GMO and safe. They do not contain any dangerous stimulants or toxins, and they are not habit-forming. And even though muting your tinnitus is as easy as ABC, the formula is more powerful than any diet or method on the planet. because it does not only bulletproof you against ear ringing, hissing, screeching, or other hearing disorders, it transforms your brain cells and nervous system while skyrocketing your energy levels and improving your memory and clearing your mind. 197,357 people have already changed their bodies, inside and out, with Quietum Plus. People like Sarah Seaton, 56, from Flint, Michigan, who says, I think these pills fixed a lot more than the buzzing faulty wire in my brain. I think they fixed all the wires. Aside from tinnitus, I also had brain fog, depression, and I kept forgetting things. Now my mind feels sharp and crystal clear. I am so focused and calm that my family doesn't recognize me anymore. My head is so quiet and I'm sleeping like a baby all through the night. My older son takes them now. He does not have tinnitus. He takes them for his insomnia and says he can finally sleep now. Or Jordan W., 63, from Scranton, Pennsylvania, who says, it's like a terrible curse has been lifted. I feel so blessed and alive. I had a buzzing in my right ear and an annoying pulsing sensation in my left ear all the time before I started this treatment. All gone now. After 2 months, guess what? My brain fog disappeared. As I got older, I used to fear a lot of things like severe memory loss or hand tremors. Not anymore. I feel like I've found the fountain of youth or something. And Noah Miller, 68, from Paterson, New Jersey, who says, just threw my hearing aids away. You heard that right. At 68, I don't need them. Seeing how good I feel, I don't think I will ever need them. For 5 years, it felt like I had a tea kettle inside my brain. Now it's all silence. I have a lot more energy, and my mood keeps getting better. I'm telling everyone I know about this. All you have to do in order to achieve the same dramatic improvements in your hearing and mental and brain health is to start using it as soon as possible. The solution is much simpler than you think, and you can get access to everything in the next 90 seconds. If you're ready to give up the burden of ear ringing and bring comfort and satisfaction back into your life, if you're ready to say yes to this big change, you first need to ask yourself, how much is it worth to you to be in full control of what you hear and when? No fears, no health risks, feeling like a brand new person who's always in a good mood. Just take a second. Imagine how much that would be worth. $100,000? $10,000? $5,000? Even though Dr. S recommended I sell a 30-day supply of Quietum Plus for no less than $997, considering the 1 year of ingredient research, work and tests that we've invested, and even though my wife suggested $597, seeing how serene and sociable I am now, while our suppliers would have asked for $397 just for the high quality of the ingredients, and even though many of the 197,352 people who got to experience Quietum Plus said they would gladly pay triple, this isn't about money for me. I'll never forget what it felt like when I saw the terror in my little daughter's eyes when I threatened her, nor the haunting look in my wife's eyes when I pushed her away. The image will forever be burnt into my memory. How can I ever forget what it feels like to get electrocuted? Or the thought of always being at risk of serious brain conditions and psychological conditions, one step away from going crazy, not knowing if I'll ever get to live another quiet day again. I never want anyone to feel as helpless, angry, or as embarrassed as I did. That's why I'll never ask for $597 or $397 or half of that. I just want to cover the costs of the ingredients and keep this site running for as long as I can. Even though I'll have to charge $99 for one bottle of Quietum Plus soon, and one bottle, as far as I know, is certainly less than a pointless visit to a specialist or the cost of chemical-filled meds, the fact that you gave me your trust and stayed with me all through this presentation means a lot. You can get a 30-day supply of Quietum Plus for a one-time fee of just $69. That's right, just $69. Before you order, Dr. S, who has seen the effects of Quietum Plus on a lot of patients and has run a lot of tests, recommends you take this supplement for at least 90 days, just to make 100% sure all your brain cells are rejuvenated and the brain wire is completely rebuilt. Honestly, we cannot estimate exactly how damaged your brain wire and nerves are at this point. This depends on many factors, such as how old your tinnitus is, your medical history, your overall state of health and lifestyle choices, etc. That's why, as a rule of thumb, after seeing the positive results of more than 197,000 people suffering chronic tinnitus, we recommend you take at the very least 3 bottles, especially since it could take more than 75 days to clear the deterioration caused by ear ringing. Or, if you want to significantly decrease your risk of memory disorders and have the best chances against Parkinson's or other nervous system disorders, 6 bottles of Quietum Plus are all you need. Please take into account that Quietum Plus is selling incredibly fast, and once it will be sold out, it will take me 6 to 9 months to produce a new batch, as we're willing to accept only the purest ingredients. Of course, we're committed to support you every way that we can, so we're going to let you order a batch of 3 bottles or 6 bottles for a huge discount. Plus, with every order made today, you also get free shipping. How does that sound? Take a look below. Once you order, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page. Just fill in your payment details using a credit card, debit card, or PayPal. Immediately after you fill in your information and confirm your order, your bottle of Quietum Plus will be shipped for free right to your doorstep. If you order the 3 bottles or 6 bottles package, which we recommend as we estimate will run out of stock anytime soon, you'll also take advantage of a huge discount. Just click below to select your package. Your order today is a one-time payment with no subscription or hidden charges. All you need to keep in mind is that Quietum Plus can be found only on this page and is not available for purchase anywhere else. This is your only chance to grab this exclusive formula. Once again, Quietum Plus is selling very fast, and once it will be sold out, it will take me 6 to 9 months to restock on the rare ingredients and produce another batch. In the meantime, I'm getting threats from the tinnitus industry giants, and risking your family's safety is not something you can do for a long time. Make your choice below. If you're skeptical, I totally get you. You've tried a lot of methods, you've spent a lot of money, and nothing worked. I am so confident that Quietum Plus works that I'm going to give you our ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. If you don't experience any dramatic improvement or you're not content for any reason whatsoever, we will issue a full refund, no question asked. All you need to do is contact us within the first 60 days from your purchase. It doesn't matter if you used up the entire bottle, we will still give you your money back. This means you have 2 whole months to decide if Quietum Plus is for you or not. No hidden fees or subscriptions, just a safe and secure one-time simple payment. Choose the package you want below. Listen, when you think about it, you really only have 2 choices ahead of you right now. Option 1, stop following this presentation and leave this page. Do nothing. Keep going the way you are now, with that gruesome, unceasing sound following you everywhere, risking brain conditions, psychological disorders, and even deafness. Keep being frustrated that nothing works. Live with your tinnitus for the following months or even years while feeling isolated from everyone else. It's not going to be pleasant. Option 2, risk nothing at all today. Grab Quietum Plus right now, and you'll be surprised at how well it works, how clear your mind can be, and how peaceful your days. So just click below to make your choice. Enter your payment details on our secure order form and place the order now. We'll immediately ship your bottles directly to your home. Remember, every 3 and 6 month package comes with a deep discount, and every order comes with free shipping, no matter where you live. I can't wait for you to experience every single benefit that Quietum Plus has to offer. Still here? Great! I wanted to take a second and answer the most common questions I get about Quietum Plus. I just want to make sure you feel 100% comfortable with your decision to order today. 1. How do I know Quietum Plus will work for me? According to the latest research, tinnitus goes much deeper than your ears, inside your brain. It's all linked to a wire that carries electrical signals and sounds from your ear cells to your brain networks. Ear ringing and whooshing happens when this wire gets damaged and messes up sounds. The solution is to feed, regenerate, and rebuild it so it will be in perfect harmony with your brain and carry sounds perfectly. 2. Is Quietum Plus safe? Quietum Plus has been designed for all ages and medical conditions in order to naturally support your brain and auditory system. Quietum Plus has high-quality natural ingredients manufactured in an FDA-approved facility under sterile, strict, and precise standards. Each of the ingredients that goes into Quietum Plus is tested for purity and to ensure against toxins and contaminants. As always, if you currently have a medical condition or you're taking other prescription medication, we advise you to show a bottle of this supplement to your doctor before you take it, just to put your mind at ease. 3. Can you tell me about the guarantee again? The more results we see, the stronger we believe Quietum Plus has the power to completely regenerate the brain networks and rebuild the faulty wire that causes tinnitus. It's true, though, that nothing works for 100% of the people who try it, as each body works in its own way. That's why every bottle of Quietum Plus comes with an ironclad 60-day money-back guarantee. If, for any reason, you aren't fully satisfied with the results, you can just return what you haven't used for a full, no questions asked refund. 4. How long will this supplement be available to the public? Well, I'm not really sure. But history has shown us that the tinnitus industry is not afraid to spend millions of dollars in legal fees to remove something that threatens its very existence. If you think about it, that makes sense. Wouldn't you spend $1 million in lawyer costs to protect a business that's expected to reach $2 billion? This page could be taken down tomorrow or in a couple of hours. That's why I strongly suggest you make a decision today. 5. How many bottles should I order? We recommend ordering the largest amount so you can stock up and make sure your body, brain, and ears take full advantage of the long-term benefits of Quietum Plus. Moreover, Quietum Plus is selling very fast, and it can take up to 9 months before we can resupply, as we are willing to accept only the purest ingredients. Ordering the largest amount is also the best deal for you. We've set it up so you can save more than 30% over the one-bottle option. Plus, our no questions asked money-back guarantee is valid no matter how many bottles you order, so there's no risk in stocking up. So all you have to do today is click below, fill in your payment details on our secure order form, and submit your order. I can't wait to hear your success story.